I noticed myself like dealing with a lot of this like anxiety is the best way to describe it. And I'm not used to feeling anxiety, but there's a lot of stuff going on right now. I caught myself feeling anxious about the future. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like focus on just being present and being grateful and being in situations that I'm actually in instead of, you know, worrying about situations outside of my control. What's going on YouTube? It is your boy Brian Mark coming at you with another episode on this channel. And in today's episode, I'm gonna be walking you guys through a big lesson that I learned when purchasing Iron Energy Gym. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Let's go. All right, so I'm gonna be fully transparent. The gym is stressing me the out right now. The reason it's stressing me out is because when I purchased the gym, I purchased it thinking that all the legal paperwork had been handled. I basically kind of entrusted that, you know, there was people on my team that were like handling the legal paperwork. It turns out that there was a lot of stuff that got missed, and there was a lot of stuff that I wasn't notified of. Complaints from previous employees about the business towards WorkSafe and outstanding loans that the business had. And so moving forward, there is a lot of stuff that now I have to deal with because I wasn't notified of this stuff upon sale and because it wasn't looked into by any of my partners at the time. That being said, the truth is, like, I spent the last like 2 weeks kind of like pissed off about it. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. But the truth is, it's my fault. And so I'm doing this video to accept responsibility. It's my fault that I didn't look into the paperwork myself. It's my fault that I didn't do my due diligence. It's my fault that I didn't go above and beyond to make sure that like I was looking into what I was purchasing. And I think that the lessons that I'm learning now, taking responsibility for other people's ups and like taking responsibility for previous owners being and taking responsibility for like previous owners with outstanding loans, etc. The fact that I'm taking responsibility for this now, this is preparing me for what is in store next. And what is in store next is like the franchise of Iron Energy Gym. And like I'm going to franchise this gym, and I think that the growing pains that I'm going through right now are preparing me for the moment when I do open up my own franchise and I've got, you know, 10, 15, 20 locations. Like I need to know that now, because on this scale I can deal with it. It is annoying and I do have to pay a lot of money out of pocket, but I would rather, like, quote unquote a lot of money, I would rather do that now than, you know, own 10 franchises, 10 locations, and then have deal with because I didn't learn the necessary things from like the base level. So man, there's so much more that goes into like a brick and mortar than there is for an online business. Holy man, like it is like I'm learning some all right, I'm learning some and it's been super valuable, but it's also been very challenging. Yeah, this video is me kind of owning it and being like, you know what, like even though previous owners sucked, even though I didn't kind of like learn what I needed to learn in terms of like the legal paperwork, it is what it is, and it's my responsibility to take this information and move forward. And I'm not doing this video to bash anyone, honestly, like I really don't. I guess that it is what it is, but the fact of the matter is I have all of these problems now that are sitting on my plate that are my responsibility that now I must handle because I didn't do my due diligence. So that is a lesson that I will learn, and that is a lesson that I will take, and that is also a lesson that I will share so that if any of you guys are interested in investing in any sort of business, just do your research, like really deep dive into the paperwork. Are there any outstanding loans? Are there any outstanding complaints? Are there any outstanding like suits against the company? So these are all lessons that I hope that through my lesson you can learn so you don't have to learn the same thing for yourself. So guys, that's it. That's how I'm gonna start my day, and just like notifying you guys. Like I honestly didn't sleep very much last night because I was thinking about it a lot and processing and kind of like going through the motions. But the truth is, like, this is preparing me for the next level. So little mini rant over. Let's get to work. I actually went for a drive to start my morning. I did something different. So I'm gonna go back home now. I'm gonna make some content and we're gonna get after it. Let's go. I'm here with Britzy and we are gonna be doing our little morning team meeting that we do every single day to run the business. Right, Britzy? Cheers. Okay guys, so we are in the middle of the morning so far and sitting here on my crutches. I was gonna say, I can get used to this, but I cannot get used to this. I cannot wait to have my foot back. I'm so excited. I'm feeling super anxious today. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm trying to breathe through it and just kind of like, I think not having as much fitness as I usually do has definitely gotten to me a little bit. So I'm just doing my best to just like stay positive and stay optimistic and stay grateful and just starting, yeah, I'm just like taking it one moment at a time right now. But yeah, today I definitely feel a lot more anxiety than I usually do. And so yeah, that is where I'm at right now, okay? The next thing that I've got on my list is I'm gonna be doing a podcast, and that is in 20 minutes. I just had a podcast with Kirst. It was awesome. We did our 8 Commandments of Love. And then I've got a podcast with my Academy. Academy podcast, and then I'm going to be doing a in-person training session with Ryan, one of our trainers at the gym. He's going to be running me through a session, and I'm going to be giving him some feedback on his sales. And then I'm going to work out at 1 o'clock, and then I'm going to host a Iron Energy team meeting at 1:30. And after that, I think I'm pretty much free for the day. I'm going to double check. Yeah, after my Iron Energy meeting, I am free. So I will get to relax. I've got a power morning, and I'm going to push through, and I'm going to challenge myself to be the best that I can be, and then I'm going to podcasting from the couch, y'all. What's up, team? We got our loyal Darun and Brandon. First ones here always. What's going on, guys? How are you? Guys, welcome to Pod Chats. I appreciate you guys so much for showing up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to mute the participants as they're coming in. As you guys are coming in, if you guys would like to chat, feel free to raise your hand right now. There's like an option to like raise your hand, or you can just say me in the chat box, and that works as well. And I'm super, super grateful for you guys showing up, and I'm excited to serve. So if you're here, raise your hand and you are going to come up. So it's gonna be Tanner, Aaron, and Brandon. I freaking love it. For those of you guys that are new here, here's how it works. The online coaches that are inside of our academy, they can come onto Pod Chats and they get to literally ask us anything. So Cole, you ready, bro? Okay, let's get into it in 3, 2, and 1. What is going on, online fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives, Make Money Online Trainer Podcast. This is the #1 show for online coaches who are trying to grow a successful online business. In today's episode, I'm joined by my boy, my business partner, my homie, future father. Also, I am the godfather of your child, Cole Silva. What's up, dog?
Yo, what's up, big boy? My energy is gonna be like, I feel like some people are gonna hear me today and it's like, whoa, Cole's energy is like low, but it's not. It's super high. I'm just being very wary of my voice. So I'm like trying to be quiet, trying not to lose it. I've already snapped a couple times, like not in a bad way, like I'm just super energetic and happy today, and then my voice gave out like a minute later. So I'm trying to keep it monotone today, just cool and relaxed, like the Old Spice commercial, bro.
Bro, you got some voice problems. I got all the voice, so I'll carry both of us. I got some foot problems, you got some voice problems. We got some going on over here, don't we? We got some stuff. So Cole's actually in his peak week right now. So I just want to give Cole a big shout out on the podcast because he's been an amazing leader for the company. He's been showing up for me as a friend and just like been all around like a savage, and he's not eating very, very much food. So bro, I appreciate you for showing up and continuing to deliver value.
Appreciate you, dog. I appreciate that. I'm getting a lot of love today. I'm like, it's feeling see, I'm getting excited. My voice is starting like yelling again. And but dude, I feel very aligned. Like I feel like a lot of people will utilize prep and it will start to like break them and throw them off their grind. Guys, this is where I thrive. And like Brian's seen it before. He keeps saying like, you remind me of the old Cole, because we met like when I was doing my first fitness competition. Like I thrive in this. Like it's grueling. I'm exhausted, but I'm having a blast. I'm super excited to be here, so I appreciate that compliment.
On YouTube, good to see you, Cole, Brian. Best day of my freaking life.
Yeah.
Glad to be co-hosting here with you guys this week. But anyways, this question is like more on our lives as online trainers and entrepreneurs. So I had like a crazy moment happen to me, and it also rang a bell when I was listening to your Stay in Your Lane podcast. But last weekend, I went out with like a good old hometown friend of mine, and a lot of my social circle that I had before being an entrepreneur, oh man, it's like I cannot really resonate with these people as much as I could before. It's almost like heartbreaking. But a lot of them, they're all working 9 to 5s. He wanted to like go out drinking and stuff on the weekends, and I'm just, it's so crazy. But like literally these calls, like right here, right now, are like probably the most stimulating conversation that I have with other human beings now. And then I do these calls, I hang out with my clients, I got my girlfriend luckily, and my dog. So it's like there isn't much of like a social aspect as there was before being an entrepreneur. And I know you guys are seasoned vets, entrepreneurs. I want to know, like, what have you learned about how your social circle has evolved through your journey as an entrepreneur?
What a great question. That was a great question. Touche. So first things first is thank you for asking that. That's going to be really, really good. I think that as you grow as an entrepreneur, there's 2 types of friends, ones that grow with you and ones that don't. And not in a rude way either. It's not like, if somebody makes the decision that they're happy with where they're at and they're not interested in growing and they're like happy and content but they're actually happy and they're like, they bring joy to your life and they celebrate your wins. Like, I think that's a friend that I, will keep around. But if I have a friend that's like toxic, negative, or they're just like always always drinking or they're always in the same place and they're not making any progress, like it sucks my life energy to hang out with this person. And if I feel that with another person, I just won't go there. I was like a lone wolf for a long time, man. Like a long time I was a lone wolf, and I wasn't really interested in building relationships with people unless they had ambition, unless they were going somewhere, unless they were driven, unless they were excited about life. And so my thing with the relationships and social circles is like I'm continuing to level up and push myself to be the best that I can be every single day. And if the people that are in my life are on that same wave with me, like let's can go. But like either way, I'm going in this direction, and I refuse to compromise my core values for anybody. And sometimes that means I'm gonna have to walk alone for a little bit until I find my tribe, you feel me? So that's that. I also think that that's another motivating factor for me on like why I chose to grow a massive business is like when I was running Aesthetic Nation, I was like alone when I first started my fitness journey. Like I was the only one that was eating out of meal prep containers. I was the only one that was like going to the gyms consistently. I was like alone. So I was like, I wanted to build a big community of people that were like interested in fitness so that like fitness didn't have to be a lonely journey. That was one of the big driving factors of Aesthetic Nation. And then that was another reason I started hiring trainers to work with me at Aesthetic Nation. I'm like, well, this is like boring to do by myself. So like, let's start hiring my homies and let's start hiring my best friends. And then we would just do coaching calls and we would like grow the business together. Right. So I'm just not interested in low level conversations. And I would define a low level conversation as like, let's gossip, let's complain, let's be negative. Like that to me does not stimulate me at all. It makes me want to punch myself in the head. And so I will disassociate myself with conversations like that. I've also cut friends out of my life that were like quote unquote my friends, but they weren't interested in growing. And so they kept dragging me back down. And that's not a bad thing. Now, I also just want to touch on something. Like I have some friends in my life that we'll go like months or years without talking. And as soon as we reconnect, we're back together like that. Those are your fucking homies, you know? You'll have some friends in your life. Like for me, I have some friends in my life that, you know, I'll go like a month or two without talking to them and they're like, you're too busy for me now. It's like the real ones, they get it, and the ones that aren't real, they don't. And that's not you, that's them. And I think that what's important is that like you focus on your happiness and you focus on your growth, and you will find your tribe as long as you're pursuing your happiness. And it's just gonna click. Like you're gonna meet somebody one day and you're like, dude. And even online friends, man, like there's a guy that I just connected with. His name's Cole Taylor. He's gonna be coming on my podcast, I think next week. I read one of his posts on Facebook and I was like, this guy is like literally my human. And then he DM me, I DM him, and we're like back and forth voice noting. And he's like, can I come on your podcast? I'm like, yeah, you can. So like, you just get it sometimes, right? But the only way you're going to get to that level with those people that are high level is like you commit to just mastering yourself. And then as you master yourself, your tribe will start to find you. That's my answer.
That's deep. I don't know how to follow that. Honestly, like listening to you ask that question, like I honestly didn't really have an answer. Like that was a hard one. That was a very good question to me because I feel like a lot of my answer is the same as Brian's. I disassociated myself with a lot of individuals in my life because I was surrounded by people who did not want to grow. And it wasn't because they were bad people. It was just because of the fact that I wasn't about that life anymore. It also wasn't the fact that they were bad people, but it was the fact that they kept questioning every move I made. And they kept questioning why I was doing the things that I was doing, which in tune started to cause me to question it. So I disassociated myself with those individuals so I could just focus on my path. Now, something that I realized, and I'm actually gonna quote Natasha here, because this is something that she kind of dragged out of me recently. I feel like a very big reason why I keep my social circle small is because I give so much and I don't want to have to give again when I'm trying to be social and relaxing in my back end.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
All right, guys. So finished up my podcast and now I'm on the way to the gym. It's actually cool that I'm doing a vlog where I'm not in my house. So I'm on my way to the gym right now, and I'm gonna be transparent with you guys in terms of like the amount of that I'm dealing with. I feel like I had to go into today with like intentionally positive energy because I noticed myself like dealing with a lot of this like anxiety is the best way to describe it. And I'm not used to feeling anxiety, but there's a lot of stuff going on right now. I caught myself feeling anxious about the future. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like focus on just being present and being grateful and being in situations that I'm actually in instead of, you know, worrying about situations outside of my control. I'm just gonna focus on being grateful and being happy and being positive, and that's all I can really do is take one moment at a time. So just had the podcast with Cole. It was really good. And now I'm on my way to the gym to do a in-person training session with one of our head trainers. He's gonna walk me through one of his sessions. This will probably be our last training session for PT. And yeah, I'm excited about it. So sit back, relax, and come with me to Iron Energy. All right, guys, so we just got to the gym. I'm actually gonna leave my camera in the car because carrying it around with my crutches is very annoying, so I'm not gonna do that. But I'm gonna let you guys know what I'm gonna do. So I've got an in-person training session with my boy Ryan in terms of like, I'm gonna help him with his sales skills. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm going to do my workout, and after my workout, I'm gonna have an Iron Energy in-person staff meeting. So I might actually come out and grab my camera before that to show you guys a little bit of behind the scenes with that. So yeah, peace. See you guys in a little bit. I'm doing that weird thing where I end my vlogs early again. Remember when I used to do that? That was fun, right?